Like, did he fake it? Like, is this fake? Because the guy at the hospital says he saw someone get out of one of the SUVs, get into an SUV being driven by Mike McCoy, and then shoot off down the road.
So don't break my balls.
Yeah, but we're going to get right into that right now. All right, so we're going to start right there. So this is Project Constitution. You can't see the, there you go. Project Constitution, okay, buddy of mine. He shares my content all the time. And I wanted to show you, this is a clip of a witness who saw the aftermath at the actual hospital, and we're going to look at it right now, and I'll tell you where I think this is weird. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I don't know where I got that from. That like sounds exactly like something that I heard somewhere with like, but I don't know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and like this video, okay? We're doing the Lord's work over here. We are trying to be objective in a world of people incentivized by non-objective behavior. So let's watch this. I'm going to skip to like the part that actually matters.
So they head north, the first one. And they pull in right over here where it says ambulance. Right here. Then they go around over here to the front where it says surgery. And then I was parked right here.
Okay, so this guy is like he's a parking enforcement person. That's why he's there. I'm going to fast forward you to where, okay, so he comes back around here and he's saying that there was another SUV that came in that, well, I'm sure you'll hear him say it, but he's saying Mike McCoy was driving it.
The other SUV comes right here, passes me, looks just like Mikey McCoy. I know what Mikey McCoy now looks like. That's why I put two and two together. And then they go this way. The SUV goes this way. That SUV was down there by the physician's parking where you can't go in. And it parked right to the side of that building. And then that's when someone came out and got in. Then they left right here, pull out, then they head south to 800 North.
So my question is just like, think about that situation, right? Charlie gets shot, okay? They pick him up, whatever. Somehow they get him into the car. They drive him to the hospital. Mike McCoy is driving another SUV, and when he gets to the hospital, someone jumps out, jumps into his SUV, and they drive away. Somebody come up with a scenario where that makes sense, okay? There's only one that I can think of, and it would be that it was Charlie who jumped into the car. I mean, I'm not saying that that's actually what happened. I'm just saying this shit's weird, okay? Because watch this, okay? Let's watch another thing that just is like, what am I even looking at, dude?
On my phone, and I see the video come in of him flinging out the hats. And I said, Mom, look, it started. So we saw the hats being flung. I put my phone down, and it was on silent, so I had no reason to look back at it. And I moved my mom. I went back to grab my phone, and that's when Mikey started calling me. He called me within seconds.
I called Erica. I just remember it rang like 3 or 4 times. I didn't know what to say.
Right out of the gate. My wife was watching this over my shoulder. She's all, who's that guy? Because that guy's lying about whatever he's saying. She's like, that's liar energy. She's like, that's probably why they cut away from his face. And I was like, this is Charlie Kirk's chief of staff. And I agree.
Those are the words that will change someone's life forever, and you have to be the one to say it. That was the first time I've ever called her during a campus tour stop.
And so Mikey called me, and I'll never forget him just being like, Charlie's been shot. He's been shot. Get the kids. Get security. Get the kids. Get the kids. He's been shot. I sprinted out of her treatment center. I just collapsed in the middle of the parking lot.
Like, do you understand how good of an actor you have to be able to fake as if you actually went through an experience like having your best friend killed or your husband and father of your children killed? And so these performances are what are so hard for me. I'm like, what am I looking at? This is all wrong. Anyway, though, let's go ahead and move over to here. Okay, now, actually, no, let's watch this first. So we're going to watch Valhalla and Ian talk about the weirdness and the lack of blood. And then we're going to watch the CIA talk about how they don't believe the official story either.
And so an artery in the neck, like, you're digging in there immediately to try to close that off.
There's gauze in there. Get pressure on that. And there's 100%.
None of that going on.
But this is where it gets even weirder.
And then you see this, which is the after.
This is crazy, yeah.
And if we look at this, there's no blood on the grass. There's no blood anywhere. Like, Alex, I mean, with gunshot wounds, not even ones that aren't arterial. We're talking about an arterial gunshot wound. There's just no blood.
I mean, I've seen more blood from someone losing half a foot. No joke. I've seen more blood from someone hitting a booby trap, losing half a foot. So
no.
So I'm purposefully playing these guys' video right now instead of just analyzing this myself, because this dude is like one of the best expert testimonies you could possibly get. Sticky Green Beret, a combat medic that has seen combat, that has treated gunshot wounds in all sorts of permutations with his own experience and stories to share about it. That is a very valuable expert opinion here. And what he's saying about the amount of blood you would get from arterial bleed like this is no joke. You would get a shitload of blood from an arterial bleed like this in the neck while they're trying to treat it there on the grass before they carry him out. And I mean, they theorize on this too, and it's obvious to start thinking about what video did Candace Owens see from that camera from the back, right? Because if somehow they were all over Charlie's body, ostensibly treating his wounds for a solid, like 10, 20 seconds, and none of them got blood on their hands, and there doesn't appear to be that much blood on the scene behind there, like, there's no blood from, if this was an entry wound in the front, there's no blood spray onto the back wall behind him. I don't really know what to make of any of that. I mean, it sort of obviously like starts to make you think about full conspiratorial, like it didn't even happen kind of conspiracies, which is a whole other level of questions to ask. And that's not what I'm necessarily implying.
I think I am at this point, at least implying that might be what's going on. Because I don't know what else to, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like, I don't believe that it's not real. But like, when you take these little tidbits of information and you add it to this like bizarre thing where like, this is like, do you understand? Okay, do you understand what would happen to me? Do you have any idea what it would be like for me to try to speak about that? All I do is talk. This is the thing I'm best at in the world. Okay? Very few people can compose themselves and deliver, words into a microphone as well as me. And if that happened to me, I would be a wreck. I could not talk about that like this. Like I could, I certainly wouldn't look like I was trying to look sad. I would collapse every time I tried to speak about it. Like, I start thinking about our kids and whatever. I couldn't talk about that. I had a psychedelic experience, okay? A very heavy one on Ibogaine, okay? Long story I won't get into. There is no way the kid killed Charlie Kirk alone. I 100% agree. Let's watch.
I had Rob O'Neill, who was a Navy SEAL who killed Osama bin Laden on last week, on Monday, saying that there were a lot of questions he felt just didn't quite stack up with it. Everything you've seen about the shooter, what happened, the fact it was a single bullet, the way he was able to put together his gun, dismantle his gun, get away, and so on. The weird text messaging with his transitioning boyfriend and so on. What do you make of it all? Do you think there are unanswered questions with this? Does it make sense to you?
Oh, absolutely there are unanswered questions. It doesn't make sense to me completely, and I think that's why there are conspiracy theories that are popping up around the shooting. The problem is that, like so much of what happens in the real world, there are areas that are protected, areas of information that are not available to the public, so the public doesn't get a full picture. You were just talking about the emergence of new media. Part of the unexpected or possibly unproductive side effect of that new media is that we now know more of what we don't know.
Yes.
Whereas in the past, when we didn't know, we didn't even realize we had a gap of information.
What is the stuff, when you look at that shooting, what's the stuff where you, with your former CIA hat on, go, that's a bit weird?
So first of all, the fact that there's really no significant new information since about September 19th, right? Like how is this so significant that we're having national days of silence for Charlie Kirk? How is it so significant that it's making International Media Day after day, but we can't get new information? We still don't know what the motive was. We're having people like the transgender roommate / lover disappear, and nobody's talking to him. And there's
somebody finally asking the right questions, right? And hey, between you guys and me, hey, just a little secret between us girls, huh, guys? I just reached out to Andrew Bustamante, and I sent him my video that I put out this morning, which I guess would be yesterday when you guys see this. But oh my God, I literally just got a text message putting me and Andrew Bustamante together at this moment, because I sent it to him after he looked at this, and I'm like, dude, I want to talk to him about this, because he's an intelligence agent, a former intelligence agent, and that's where everybody needs to be looking, in my opinion. Assuming that you don't think Charlie's alive, which I can't even believe that I'm actually entertaining that.
Doesn't seem to be a large manhunt.
No, I don't think it's an autopsy report yet. I don't think we've had an autopsy.
Exactly. So this is information that doesn't seem unreasonable to share, and yet it's not being shared. So the question becomes why. There's lots of legitimate reasons why it wouldn't be shared yet, but that's not good enough for us with our current appetite.
From a technical point of view about the shooting itself, for a 22-year-old who's not military trained, to be able to get up on that roof, put together a gun, then dismantle it, fire off one shot with a bolt action rifle that belonged to his grandfather, reportedly, and get away. But to be able to assassinate somebody in that clinical manner, does that seem likely, or is there something we don't know about what this kid was doing before all this?
We look at everything in intelligence through a lens of probability. Anything is a possibility, but what are the probabilities that it played out the way that we're being told? So when I think of his age, and I think about the fact that he grew up in a hunting family, and I think about the fact that he was familiar with that particular weapon, he was familiar with the campus. He had what we call the advantage of area familiarity, area fam. He had all of those benefits that Charlie and Charlie's team did not have. Plus, of course, he had the element of surprise on his side. But when it comes to the technical elements of being able to handle that weapon, I tend to agree more with Rob. It doesn't make sense. How, unless he spent hours in premeditation assembling and disassembling his gun, he already had his ingress and his egress route planned. He already knew where he was going to stash the weapon. He had a plan to succeed. His dad is the reason his plan to disappear ultimately didn't succeed. And that was obviously a variable he didn't account for. So is it possible that he prepared to the extent that he needed to prepare to run such an effective operation? Yeah, it's possible, but is it probable that he did it alone? It's not real.
No. Very much not likely or probable that he did it alone. And that has been my main beef with this entire story from day one, which is, guys, I'm sorry. Okay. The idea that this guy was wearing one outfit over here, he's wearing another outfit over there, right? It's not two different people. Okay. And it couldn't have been Lance over there. This is the thing, man.
Really probable that one 22-year-old would be able to figure all of that out.
And to fire one shot and be successful in your mission.
Yeah, arguably, you can see that he hadn't trained for the shot distance, because while he did shoot Charlie in a fatal location, it's unlikely he was aiming for that specific location. So there are certain elements that highlight he was amateur as a professional killer. A Navy SEAL like Rob wouldn't make a mistake like that. Wouldn't see that tumble and not predict it.
Right. I mean, Rob had a lot of questions, but one of which was just the amount of time it took him, like you said, to assemble and disassemble. He said he didn't think he could do it in the time that they believed this boy did it. And it's interesting because the only equivalent kind of story in the last few years where there are even more unanswered questions is, and when you dig into it, for a young person to have no digital footprint whatsoever, that to me is very, very odd.
Absolutely, there's hidden information there without a doubt. It's funny, my mind worked very similar to yours, Piers. When I started to research, the parallels are very, very powerful, very humbling, right? You're talking about similar age groups, you're talking about high levels of intelligence, you're talking about a level of emotional IQ that made them actually well-liked in their community.
Right.
CIA believes that all...
So, I think Andrew and I are aligned. I'm literally, hey, by the way, guys, while I'm doing it, you guys see this thing shaking here? That's because I'm texting with Bustamante literally right now. So, hopefully, I can get him on and we can have a discussion together, and you guys will get to watch that. That is what I'm trying to do right now. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Love you.